Yeah. We're all about fun. Big Sheds in the house Saturday night. We're just grooving to a little bit of funky music. That's Church of Eight Wheels. You know, we're all crypto nerds trying to pretend we're cool, so the music helps. The music definitely helps. I am Big Sheds. It is Saturday. It's the second day of April. I am blessed. I'm thankful to be alive, and I'm thankful that you're here listening to me. It's a lot of fun. I'm a chart guy. I'm a newbie helper. I love charting. I love TA. I love Bitcoin. That's kind of what I do. That's why I'm here. Let's check in with the chat room. I feel the positive energy. Listen, folks, I've been waiting. I've been like wanting to do a show. I've been putting it off. Of course, I'm a founding analyst at Bitcoin.live, and I do twice a week long form market analysis there. And that's something I don't skip a beat on that. That's something incredibly important to me. I'll do a update tomorrow for the closing weekly candle. But for these videos, I mean, the YouTube videos, they can wait. And I apologize, they can wait. Bitcoin Live cannot wait. I got to find the right time. So I have some thoughts. I have some tweets I've kind of considered covering tonight. But there's great stuff up there, right? Like, of course, I'm on Twitter. I'm at Big Cheds, but I'm all over the map. You don't know what I'm talking about. You have no idea what I'm talking about. I'm being cryptic. I'm being random. Go watch my YouTube stuff. I mean, I'm trying to speak to everyone, but I'm always trying to push you. I want to push you a little bit. I want to make you think like, what does that mean? Right. So anyway, go watch my educational live stream tutorials. It'll help you get started trading. Watch the long form interview series. I've got a great interview coming up Monday with Peter McCormick, longtime associate, big fan of his, and that should be super fun. Check out the quick market updates. And of course, I am the author of Trading Wisdom, 50 Lessons Every Trader Should Know. That can be found right now on Amazon. 4 formats: audio, Kindle, hardcover, and paperback. If you don't want to buy the book, I totally get it. Just check out the free version on my YouTube channel, Chad's Trading. And by the way, please do consider hitting like and subscribe. By the way, check out the free version of the book. I've done 13 of the 50 lessons. I will eventually do the entire book for you for free. Just wait. I'll get it done for you eventually. By the way, I do have book 3 coming out shortly in the next few months, my book on trading quotes. So thank you for letting me get that out of the way. As always, I would like to give a little bit of love to the chat room. And folks, this is a worldwide phenomenon. Folks are here from Iowa. We have our man, Happy Ramadan. Happy Ramadan to you as well. I want to say thank you, and I want to wish you that as well. I appreciate you. Aloha from the islands. Aloha. Aloha. It's nice to see you. Let's see how everybody's doing from all around the world. It's a worldwide phenomenon. Hello from Jordan. Checking in from everybody else, people from all over the world. It's fun. These are things, what a time to be alive. Really, what a time to be alive. You can just turn on your phone, your tablet, maybe you're on the sofa and you're looking at me, or we can communicate, we can talk. So that's fun. Look, I really appreciate you being here. Thank you for joining. Hello from Romania, Italy, Saudi Arabia. I mean, look at this. I'm just a guy hanging out. I get all these great people from all over the world. Hi from Arkansas. Nice to see you in Sydney, Australia as well. Israel and Philly, no doubt. That's a cool city, by the way, Philadelphia. Sydney, London, Texas. What's going on? What's going on down in Texas? Much love from the Netherlands. I've been watching that on Netflix, The Last Kingdom. I've really been looking into like 9th and 10th century history, and that like the pagan versus Christian thing with like the Vikings and like the North Sea, all those kings and all the changing stuff. I'm really into that. Really into that. So that's interesting. Anyway, you're not here to listen to me talk about that. You are here probably to hear me talk about Bitcoin. I kind of study it. I follow it. I eat, sleep, and breathe it. I find it interesting. We're in a really interesting spot. So I kind of selected a series of tweets that I have been Bitcoin Live members in the house. Awesome. Thank you. So I know I'm late, but I wasn't sure. I had my friend was texting me, was arguing with me about something. It's one of those friends that you can't like get out of the conversation. You have to be like, no, back and forth, really trying to one up each other. Hello to everyone else, Morocco and Delaware and UK, Costa Rica. That's awesome. Um, we're in a really interesting spot, right? So, if you're not sure where to begin, kind of refer to at least my prior YouTube videos, these market updates where I've kind of talked about the structure where we have that well-established resistance level 46K, and you think about these classical charting concepts, and really what should inform you. You start from that kind of like supply demand level and how that level is established. And you've got a well-established level. You got the time interval, which means the attempts in between, the time in between all the price interactions with the level. What I mean by that is middle of December, test the support, test it again, a few weeks later, right? That's part of a different move. So that's one data point, two data points, really three data points, arguably four, five, even here, six. You could argue that was a data point in terms of the price interaction with the zone, right? Classical charting. So you have the more price interactions with the zone, the more significance it has, the more important it is, right? So you've got all that cooking, right? We've talked about that. What that means is basically the fact that in kind of like non-technical terms, you have the fact that Bitcoin attempted to bottom back in December. Pardon me, it attempted to bottom back in December, and you have the kind of that failed, well, in technical terms, a failed double eve or failed double bottom, right? Double rounded bottom. It attempted to bottom right at that level at 45K, right? So it's kind of said, hey, this is an important area. And when it lost it, it came back and it couldn't flip it. So that's been the zone. You've got a well-established level at 45 to 46K. And for momentum's sake, whoever wants to say they have the trend, they need to hold that level. Like this is such an important level in this chart, at least in terms of the last, several months. Okay. You can always, if you're a bull, you can always just say, hey, look at the weekly or look at the monthly, look at the yearly chart. Like we get it, right? We're not here to make our trades based on the yearly chart. Like we get it. So thanks for the meme, right? The point is who has control of the trend. Um, and we've been in this corrective environment ever since we put in the double top, ever since we put in the double top with the up thrust back in November, ever since we lost the MA200. We've been trying to recapture the MA200. Okay. And by all these ways, you can measure these bounces. You can measure these bounces, the lower Bollinger to moving average bounce, lower Bollinger to moving average bounce, lower Bollinger to moving average bounce and recapture. So now we're starting to get the kind of moving average recaptures, right? What does that mean? That's the downtrend going sideways. So we know we're sideways. Minimally, right? Please check your Twitter books about question books to study. Let me show you. Go here. I have this shortcut, which I've saved in my mind from Big Ched's packet. Type this in Twitter search. New follower packet. You get all that stuff, right? Right there. Type from Big Ched's packet. So whatever. That should answer your question. All right. Let's see. Okay. MA200, right? So you've got the price, you have this level being established, and you need to recapture that because that's been the long-term moving average in classical charting. The MA200 is the trend. You want to have a rising MA200 with the price above it. And ever since we've kind of topped off, we've been correcting and we've had these moves, lower Bollinger to upper Bollinger. And then here we've been sideways with the MA with, kind of the moving average recapture that I just talked about. EMA 34. Well, first EMA 8, then the 34, then the 50. And then you start the higher low structure, right? You're seeing all the elements of a bottoming, right? You're seeing all the elements of a bottoming, kind of one piece at a time. You have a low, right? You have a clear low, and that low had its spring entry right on the invalidation of the January 22nd low. You formed the spring on January 24th, right? You had that entry. I guess we'll go through those entries as well, and then you have the higher low here. So you have that construction to where you have the higher lows, you have the kind of the downtrend going sideways, you have all that evidence kind of almost the clinical evidence of the weakening bear trend. But you need the bulls to really step through. You need the bulls to confirm. What does that mean? Moving average recapture, a certain amount of days or a percentage move above a key level. And that key level is 46K, right? So 46K, 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 right? You've got 46K, you've got higher low structure. Now you've got kind of this ascending triangle. This is kind of the most, I would say, logical way to look at it as a bull. And the ascending triangle is normally a bullish continuation pattern, right? A well-defined horizontal resistance with the ascending hypotenuse, the rising demand in this case, and the measured move would be the height of the triangle. Gets us to around 56, 58K. But what's really interesting in this case, there's a couple things lining up. One thing you need to always keep in mind when you're trying to apply the measured move rule of classical charting is you want to take into account congestion zones just above. So, for example, and I did this on the Bitcoin.live video on Wednesday, if you have like, say, a bull flag and you're taking the measured move, you're taking the height of the flagpole, right? If there's like a big resistance level just above, that's going to be in the way, right? That's going to kind of hinder you from hitting that goal or that measured move. Just checking in here with the chat room. Everybody, your words are so welcome. I appreciate that. Good day. Little Haiti, Crete, Greece. I've actually been to Mykonos before, in Athens, which is cool. Good to see everybody. What's up from Jersey and hello from Norway. Thank you, my friends. So that's the thing you want to keep in mind. And in this case, it's the MA200, right? So look at this blue line. The blue line. The MA200 is really important. When you lose it, you lost the MA200 here. You lost it with velocity, right? And I need to kind of get back on point. I have some tweets I wanted to go over. When you lose the MA200 with this kind of velocity, you're gonna almost always reject in that first retest. It was just such a strong move. So when you break 46K here, you have to be on guard or on watch for a rejection at the MA200. So let's get to it. Here we are. March 28th. All right. So let's clean this up a little bit. Let's see what's going on. So March 28th. So this day right here, right? So we're here, shooting star, daily shooting star up at upper Bollinger Band after MA200 underside tag notable, right? So this is like, hey, Cheds, you're so cryptic. All right. Well, here I am literally explaining it. So you can go back and watch this video next time I'm being cryptic. All right. It's notable. It's important. And when I say notable, usually it's really important. And here's the point. It's a reversal candle at the right spot. It's a reversal candle after a big move with velocity. I mean, it went 37 to 47 pretty quickly. And it's at the upper Bollinger, but it has the confluence that it's happening right at the MA200. And you're almost always going to reject at the MA200. So it was kind of a perfect spot for an MA200. Queensland, Australia, checking in with everybody else. I don't use the MA100, honestly. I've from what I've studied and learned in practice, MA200, but to each their own. Like I'll never claim I have the best method, but I will teach you my method. I'll teach you what I know, and if it's of value to you, that makes me happy, and I would put it that way. Let's see. So that's the point. We have the shooting star at the upper Bollinger Band. That's Japanese candlestick theory, Steve Nissen. That's incredibly important. What I say here, observing this candle signal. This is why candles are so important. Look at that. I mean, you have to be defensive if you're paying attention. I mean, if you're minimally paying attention, you have to be cautious after that candle. I mean, you're asleep at the wheel if you are not cautious after that candle, given the context. Given the context that the velocity of the move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I mean, 9 green days in a row into the MA200 underside tag, shooting star upper Bollinger Band. I mean, you are neglecting your duties if you're not cautious minimally in that. All right, it's notable. Okay, throwback to the 45 to 46K area would be logical, and buy the dip. Right? What is that? What does BTD mean? To buy the dip. Okay, confluence with EMA 8. Why are we buying the dip? Well, it's a basic strategy. It doesn't mean it always works. But if you've got a resistance level and that resistance level is multi-tested with time interval, time in between, and you break out, if you come back and you throw back, you want to buy the dip. It's just a nice clean entry. It's kind of what you're looking for. It's almost in theory how you should be structuring your trades. A lot of them. Okay. Appreciate everybody. Chat room's great. I'm just checking in here. Hello from Bulgaria. Great to see you. So look, right there you go. Oops, I just deleted that. Well, that was a data point. Oh, what I said was pauses. All right. I just deleted that. Let's just find it though. Pauses. Okay. Yes, here we go. So look, if BTC pauses, there we go. If BTC pauses, so you see a shooting star on the chart, you're like, oh, okay, BTC is probably going to pause here. If BTC pauses, watch the ETH BTC chart because it's a clear pivot. What's a pivot? A pivot is like kind of a momentum turning point. And because that's important, because when ETH BTC is rising, Bitcoin's not breaking out, right? And this is right here. This was March 28th. So that was right here. This is right here. I'm saying, like, pay attention. Look, it's got a pivot. What does that mean? Right? It's right here. It's rising. That's not bullish for Bitcoin. And it's got this big level, right? If you clear that level and the MA200, you're bullish. You're really bullish, which is not bullish for Bitcoin. And that's happening as you're seeing this signal on Bitcoin, right? The shooting star at the upper Bollinger Band. So I'm saying watch that pivot. And in that tweet is the suggestion that here might be another sign of a local top for Bitcoin. All right. And then we have sentiment. I mean, how good is sentiment? How good is sentiment? I could search right now, and I nailed the November top on sentiment. Other tops too. I'm not the only person, but like I'm proud of what I did. And it's sentiment, right? And here sentiment was topped, was really strong, and it's as good as any TA I have and I can teach you. It's just a feeling, because people get really excited, and they tend to get really excited right when you are putting in that shooting star candle, right when you have had 12 green days in a row, and you're at a key level, and they don't care about the MA200. They're excited. They don't care about the overextension of the price. They don't care about the information that is being given to you in that Japanese candlestick, right? They don't care about that telling you that bears are rejecting higher prices, and that it's giving you a kind of a confirmation with not only the Eastern signal with the candlestick, but the Western signal, the MA200, the moving average, and kind of that price interaction with the MA200. So what happens next? BTC to ETH to alts. Why are we having a big alt season? Look at this tweet, March 29th. March 29th, I'm telling you, our alts are about to have some fun. We are right there, and you are feeling a lot more comfortable about your shooting star candle call. You have essentially a tweezer top forming. Basically where the price tried to rally again and was rejected at the MA200, you're getting more confirmation here on March 29th that your original view of the March 28th action was, right on, right? BTC. So there you go. I'm telling you what I feel. It doesn't mean I'm right. I'm just telling you how I'm seeing it, hopefully at key moments. And there it is. And this always happens this way. Last time I said this was like November top. I'm not saying this is November top, but there's moments. I think we had a similar moment if you go back. If you go back to the 53K top right here, if you go back to here, we had some kind of similar price action where it was kind of like a minor top. Like I feel like this is a minor top. And by the way, we could, I'll get to the fact that bulls are certainly not out of it. And I haven't even kind of mentioned the fact that really, well, let me just get this out of the way before I continue on. You have that level that we established at 46K, 45K. You have the breakout, and we rejected at the MA 200. You know what? Why would I skip forward? I'm going to get right to it. So, all right. The people get excited near top of the channel. I'm suggesting to you that we're potentially topping, and I'm thinking maybe it's a failed breakout, right? You're always thinking, how can the market screw the most people? You bounce above the ascending triangle, get people really excited, and you come back below, and now you have an up thrust. And I've been on watch for this. I talked about this on the Wednesday night Bitcoin.live video. If you look at kind of the analog of what altcoins did last May, June, July, really June, July, where they established highs, the highs of their mean reversion bounces, and then kind of a month later, they bounced above and then failed to hold that level, kind of generating a short signal in reverse. And I've been kind of on guard for that. So I think below 45K, we're in big trouble. I'm going to get to that in here a moment. Here we go. March 29th. All right. I'm talking about sentiment. Do people get excited near the top or the bottom of the channel? March 29th, 10 in the morning. March 29th, right? People are still pretty excited right there, right? Despite all the enthusiasm, right? It's important. You have to check yourself. You have to always check yourself. Like that thing I've said, that tweet, that quote from my book, when you're about to send your buddy a screenshot of your trade, like that's when you should take profit. Or the one I put out recently where I said, before you congratulate yourself on a good trade, make sure to take profit, right? Like, I mean, I say it because I do it all the time. You're like, hey, look at this trade, I'm up big, and then you turn around and you've it's already gone down. Like, take profit before you brag. And that's why that's important is you have to check your game. You have to check yourself. You have to kind of stay on top of your emotions, and you have to realize, wow, wait a minute, I'm too enthusiastic. Why am I so enthusiastic? Why am I still so enthusiastic given the price interaction with the MA 200? Bottom line, how can I still be enthusiastic, right? So here we go. All right. And then boom, 45.6. So here we go. March 28th, throwback to 45.6 would be logical and buy the dip. And then boom, there's the throwback. We threw back and it made sense. We're rejecting at the MA 200, right? Shooting star, tweezer top, pretty weak follow through. I mean, here you're thinking 60, 70%, reject, maybe 70, 80% reject. And then boom, but that's your buy the dip. We talked about buying the dip. We initially failed, and we can go low time frame, and I'll get to that in a minute. We've shown some weakness here recently, but we did it. We initially rejected, dropped below 45K. So do I have the tweet next? Here we go. BTC flashing April 1st. And it's not April Fools. I take what I do seriously. I'm not gonna like try to be funny. I'm not gonna try to be funny on April 1st because like what I do is serious. I try to be serious. It's almost an oath I take. So that's me saying I appreciate you, and I try to respect that that trust we've built up together. And so BTC flashing major warning signs of a potential failed breakout. You always pay attention. You always pay attention. You always pay attention to when you have a well-established level, tested. If you break out, you fail to hold it. That's such a strong signal. If you could And then, by the way, my fourth book project is a poker and trading crossover book, and some elements of that have to do with like selecting tiers of trading entries, and this would be like a tier 1, or this would be like playing pocket aces, right? On this type of a setup where you have that well-established level where you break out, you fail to hold it. And really, I mean, below 45K, we're in serious trouble. I mean, that's the bottom line from everything I know and have studied, right? And so I talk about that. We have the throwback, and you want to hold on the throwback. It doesn't mean you're going to, right? It initially failed. It hasn't completely failed yet, but there's some weakness signs here. But there's weakening signs here, and I've talked about them, but there's other signs too. ETH, BTC, I talked about that. That's important. BTC, ETH, alt. So this is all kind of in the same basket, okay? I've never seen this guy be bullish. I mean, I don't know, brother. I've been around a long time. I mean, go find when Bitcoin's been bullish and see what my analysis is. Go check it out, you know? I mean, I didn't nail the exact bottom last year. I was a little late, like 33K, 33 or 35K, I kinda confirmed. So I lost, I wasn't right at 30K, but, I'm bullish when Bitcoin's bullish. Like, the weatherman doesn't make the weather. That's who I am. It's about you, not me, right? You gotta think about that. That's your bias. Um So flashing major warning sign potential, a breakout, that's incredibly important. You see that illustrated in this photo, right? I try to, sometimes I'll do the arrows, I'll do the picture, and you can see that. You can see how this level is well established with time interval. You see how the support became resistance, the breakout, the rejection. And here, right at the time of this tweet, 44.9, we're flashing major warning signs. Absolutely. Look, I've been wrecked so many times. I don't want others to get, I'm trying to just share with you what little I've learned. I still have no idea what I'm doing. But I'm having fun. I'll share with you what little I've learned. All right. Hopefully that helps. And appreciate that compliment. Um, At this time, we were threatening a breakdown, and I talked about this on BCL. Like you lose this level, you're in big trouble. We're still kind of fighting right now. We've got some low time frame weakness. I want to get to that though on my next tweets. So the next tweet I want to talk about BTC 1H. Interesting spot, right? I saw some people. It was funny. Some people replied in the tweet. They said, "Hey, oh, Cheds with a diagonal line, right? Because they never see me use them." I'll use them, but I don't use them the way you're using them. I don't use them for entry or exit. Like there's no line, it's a trend. I'll draw it to identify a trend. And I see a structure of a descending supply, right? A structure of descending resistance. It's not exactly here. It's a filter around the line. There's no line. There's only a trend. There is no line. That's the trick with diagonal lines, is that there is no line. There's actually just a trend. And so there's a trend. And this is an interesting spot because it had just recaptured this clear underside level, right? The support had been right at 47K, and the price had broken down. So you're watching to see if it's going to put in an upthrust or a false bull break. You're watching for the price to trap people. You're watching for a setup where the most people get screwed, and and just usually works out that way. And you're thinking, okay, break this level, trap a bunch of people on that 47K break, and then reject here on that level and come back below. I mean, that's a great short. If you bounce here above 47K, reject on the diagonal and come back below 47K, that's like a 9 out of 10 short. I mean, without a doubt. And especially below this high here, and this is a 1-hour chart. If you're below this high, I mean, that's like a 9.5 out of 10 short. And so that was at 47K. So it was an interesting spot, right? And then what I talk about here is the BTC 1H has flipped EMA 8 from support into resistance. Watch that for momentum clues. And here I'm pointing out how when the price had been accelerating, the price had regained that 8 EMA, the exponential moving average. Aloha from Hawaii. Nice to see you, Ian. When the price had regained that exponential moving average, it had used it as support. But here we're seeing the price rolling over. And you see this all the time on really any time frame. It's a great way to track the trend. And so what are we doing now? We'll just kind of look into it now. What has happened since that tweet, right? 1 hour EMA 8. I mean, what are we doing? What are we doing, people? You want to ask me why I use the EMA 8? I don't use the EMA 8. The price uses it. I just report on it, right? I'm just the weatherman. I'm not out here creating the price action. So that's kind of the gist of it, right? We're in danger of a failed breakout below 45K. Below 45K. Yeah, below 45K, risk off. I mean, that's it. There's just no question. There can be no question. Just to like narratives, right? Yeah, there's a lot of the TWOP, and I had to look up what TWOP means. And maybe I still don't understand it, but I don't need to, right? I just follow the price. I feel like if you're gonna buy because you think someone else is buying, you're gonna get in trouble. You need to remove all of that from your system. Your system needs to just be based on the price interaction with the key levels and momentum, right? If we're below 45K, you need to be out of the market of Bitcoin. But you might see a great altcoin run because altcoins have been doing great, right? And that's been a warning sign. Like XVG was pumping. I saw ZilQ had like a ridiculous bounce. A bunch of stuff had ridiculous bounces. Look at that ETH BTC. You can't be bullish on Bitcoin given what this is doing, in my opinion, the way I see the market, right? So that's just that's just kind of what I wanted to do. Look, I've been by the way, it could be 53K the next time I do a video update, like in a week or two, right? Because I don't do them that often. But this is what I see right now, right? Things can change, right? And I will change with new data, but like this is where we're at now. You can't have a level like this, which is so well established. You can't break it and then fail to hold it. Like that's a signal you can't ignore. All right. So I'll pay attention to that. Someone says, what about alts? Look, you need to be playing relative strength participants. Luna, right? Near has been strong, right? Play stuff that's above the MA 200 and rising and doing stuff like this, breaking lower highs. Don't play your garbage coins. If it's a downtrend, it's probably going to continue to be a downtrend, and you're just going to hate yourself for holding it. Don't let these trades own you. That's like the real alpha. That's the secret. Don't let these trades own you. Like why? Why let some random coin own you? Your time is too valuable. Your sleep is too valuable. Don't let these trades own you. That's my advice. We got to stay above 45K. If we're above 45K, we have a good shot because all you have to do really is clear MA 200. Okay. All you really have to do is clear MA 200. You clear MA 200, I feel like 58K is going to be, 80, 90%. That kind of measured move from the triangle, kind of that last major cluster after the breakdown, kind of that initial EMA 34 rejection that I've talked about. We had that kind of 4-hour failed head and shoulders. I've done like 3 videos on that. So you guys and gals can go check that out. But listen, that's where we're at. I'm on Twitter. I'm at Big Cheds. Academic observations about price, trading psychology, risk management. I appreciate your follow and your interactions. I'm on Twitter and I'm on YouTube at Cheds Trading. If you're new to technical analysis and you're really confused about what I'm talking about, watch the tutorials. Those will help you out. Watch the long form interview series. I have great guests. I really get into kind of all sorts of great stuff with them, brilliant minds. I am the author of Trading Wisdom. Proud to be the author of Trading Wisdom, 50 lessons every trader should know. Feedback's been unbelievable. The book is on Amazon. Kindle, 4 formats: Kindle, audio, audiobook, hardcover, paperback. If you don't want to buy the book, I get it, right? I have a free version on my YouTube channel. Go to the playlist, 13 of 50 lessons. I will eventually have the whole book for you for free. So please do check that out. And if you're serious about learning how to trade, you want to learn technical analysis, Bitcoin.live. I mean, I'm total. I'm behind it. Behind it 100%. Best in class educational platform for crypto. I've been doing twice a week long form market updates for almost 4 years. I will not miss an update, even if I'm on vacation. Something I'm really proud of. Unbelievable team. You get access to everyone's content, not just mine. So please consider checking that out. More than anything, I'm just happy to be here. I'm happy that you took some time to listen to me. We're all connecting from all different parts of the world, but we have so much in common. It's easy to think that the people we see in the street or the people we're talking to online are different than us. We really have so much in common. And so I want to thank you for that, for our common humanity. We all mostly want the same things, and I'm just happy to be here. And more than anything, I wish you all well. Let's get this finished off with a little bit of party, a little bit of a party. This is Church of Eight Wheels. And that's the way to do it, folks. I wish you well.